The amazing black inventors who have shaped the world. And that includes Mark Dean. Mark Dean is a groundbreaking computer scientist and engineer who was instrumental in the invention of IBM's original personal computer, or PC. Dean began working at IBM in the 1980s, and there he developed a number of landmark technologies which made computers and other devices related to PC systems more powerful and more accessible. In fact, he worked on the early color graphics adapter that allowed monitors to display color. Some of y'all, Derek, Greg in the production room, y'all know it used to be black and white. Y'all had them big abacuses. He also co-invented a microcomputer system called Industry Standard Architecture, or ISA. The ISA system bus allowed devices like printers, disk drives, and monitors to be plugged directly into computers and talk to one another. However, Dean's big success came in 1999. While serving as director of IBM's Austin Research Lab, he pioneered the development of the world's first gigahertz chip, which was capable of doing 1 billion calculations per second. This forever changed technology and how the world connects today. So, when you think about computers, when you think about technology, when you think about your ability to do everything you need done, don't just think of Bill Gates. Don't just think of Steve Jobs. You think of Mark Dean. Mark Dean, we honor you.
Emmett, how are you doing?
I'm superb, my man, superb.
Well, not to belabor the time, why don't we jump right into our conversation today? So, as a black man up in Atlanta, in America, coming through that era, how are you able to balance navigating, the fight for your human and civil rights at the same time, the positioning of your curiosity and creativity?
Being a black person in America has had its effects, but it also, the pressure, the itness of it. You gotta be better. So my teachers always focused on rigor. Mm-hmm. That rigor has stuck with me. Also, the understanding of, if it's possible, then you can do it. You're not waiting for someone else to do something.
Last year, $156 billion went to founders. Less than 0.5% of that went to black founders. If it were reversed and you and I had access to the 99%, what would be different? What do you think would be different?
If we only had access to 15%.
There you go.
Right?
Yep.
We don't want an unfair advantage. We just want a fair advantage, a fair in the scheme. I sold a company for a little money. It ended up being a $23 billion enterprise. If I had a quarter of that, how I would have invested my money and the outcome of that would have been different. Most folks in our tribe who have wealth as entrepreneurs, it's the wealth of their company, it's not their liquidity. Mm-hmm. Liquidity is a tool that you can use to lever growth with others. It's not desirable for most to take money out of their operating company because they're thinking that money helps that company grow. And so we wonder why we don't support each other more. It's a function of liquidity. And in our tribe, it's about survival instincts. I can't speak about, so if you don't have a survival instinct as a black entrepreneur, I don't know how you do it because you don't last for.
Henry T. Sampson, Gamma Electric Cell. I also want to make it clear that Henry Sampson didn't create the cell phone in its entirety. What he did is he created a needed and vital component to the growth of cellular phone usage. A lot of people are mixing the two, and they have to learn how to separate it. Because of the gamma electrical cell, it made it possible to wirelessly send and receive audio signals through radio waves. So that were utilized within cell phones to make them far more efficient, better, and it was able to make them modern. They wouldn't be able to do the things that they do currently, that our cell phones are able to do currently, if it wasn't for Henry's invention. And he has a lot of other inventions as well that are noted in the video. And you can also go to sincereignorance.com to find out more. Peace.
0.5mm is the maximum error limit in powder precision for solid rocket motors.
Sincere ignorance.
Jesse Eugene Russell is a game changer in the field of cellular and wireless communication. He is known as the father of 2G communications. To fix the economic problems of car phones, Russell suggested putting mobile phones in people's hands instead. The only problem was there were more people than cars and not enough spectrum to handle the bandwidth. Fortunately, Russell was already the lead expert in digital signal processing, which converted analog from signals into digital data. From 1984 to 1988 at Bell Labs, Russell found technical solutions including completely digitizing speech in order to reduce bandwidth. This allowed 4 times the number of people on the same spectrum, and created the first digital cellular system ever. Russell radically improved the way modern cell phones work and how we talk to each other today.
From DHI Systems Incorporated, I have here with me today Mr. Aaron W. Salters from AWS Hydrogen Alternative Energy Systems. We're here to discuss Mr. Salters' new discovery on hydrogen systems for running vehicles. So I'm going to ask him a series of questions about himself, and then I'm going to ask him about his discovery, experimenting with hydrogen systems, and how he came about that. Okay. All right, Mr. Salter, a few questions here. What is your current field of profession?
My current field of profession, I'm a Buffalo police officer. I've been a police officer about the last 27 years.
Okay, Mr. Salter, and what kind of background do you have in, if any, in chemistry, electronics, and automotive mechanics?
Well, I graduated from Hutch Tech. I graduated from Hutch Tech in 1984. After I graduated from Hutch Tech, I went to Canisius College. I went there for 4.5 years. Just credits shy of getting my degree, and then that was in 1988, and in 1989, January of 1989, I went into the Buffalo Police Academy.
Okay, and what spurred your interest, Aaron, if I may ask, in hydrogen electrolysis systems for running on vehicles? What spurred your interest? Is that the first project you ever had with of this sort?
No, I always, guys used to laugh at me. I had built a solar collector where we collected solar rays and would heat my house. And a lot of guys showed interest in me doing that. But in approximately 2011, gas prices had went up to like $5 a gallon.
Correct, that is correct.
And so I went on the internet and I started looking some alternative energy sources, and I came across an article about electrolysis, and it was very interesting to me, and I purchased some plans of how to run your car on water from the internet, and I got it just to see. I was skeptical myself. I didn't believe that it would work, but I just wanted to see, if you could get hydrogen from water. So I would go around and ask other mechanics, back in like 2011, and nobody had ever heard of what I was talking about, even though it's been around since the 1800s. But nobody in my circle, in my area, I went around to quite a few automotive shops, and nobody had ever heard of electrolysis.
Okay, and for the viewing audience, we'd like to say, and correct me if I'm wrong, electrolysis is a process by which one separates the molecules of certain elements or certain, like water, for example.
Right.
That's hydroelectrolysis. Electrolysis would basically separate the hydrogen from the water, which
Yes.
is H2O,
Yes.
which is one atom of hydrogen, 2 atoms of oxygen.
Yes.
Added with that.
We don't have an unemployment problem in America. We have a joblessness program, because everybody gets into a public office. What he wants to do is give black folks a job. A job ain't worth a damn. A job is not designed to change the wealth. You can't change wealth with having a job unless you're good as hell at stealing. What you have to do is that you got to spend some money into building businesses for black folk. Black folk don't need jobs. They need businesses.
They need businesses.
To build their own products and services and goods and opportunities for their own people.
Long time ago. And the cry was jobs and justice.
Yeah.
In the March on Washington in 1963, the cry was jobs and justice. In the 20-year anniversary of the March on Washington, the cry was jobs and justice. We are now in 2010. And what is the cry? Jobs and justice. Well, wait a minute. How long are you going to sit around begging white people to do for us what we have the power to do for ourselves?